Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 315 based on novel. So let's start. The monstrous ocean suddenly smashed down as if it wanted to destroy everything in the world. The All-Seer's finger also descended from the sky. Ancient demon Bailu opened his arms and the ancient demon shadow behind him detached from his body. There was a flash of light and 24 small illusionary flags surrounded the ancient demon shadow. As the ancient demon pointed forward, the 24 small flags released an unimaginable pressure. Various illusions of ancient gods and ancient devils appeared. There were even some fierce beasts from ancient times. They filled the sky. Various spells descended from the sky outside the palace at this moment. Master Void clenched his teeth and was going to attack, but when he realized that Wang Lin was here, he immediately stopped. The man in black also didn't move, but a trace of greed appeared in his eyes. Inside the palace was a seriously injured Celestial Emperor Qing Lin. Even if the ancient devil was here, they still had more people, and they weren't lacking in powerful cultivators, so even the ancient devil would be afraid. As long as I can obtain 3 drops of Qing Lin's blood, my mission will be complete. Then the Lord will help me increase my cultivation level greatly. Even the old man on the gourd's eyes lit up. He stopped attacking and took a few steps back, then greed appeared in his eyes. He came here with the All-Seer, so he hadn't encountered too much trouble. He wasn't here to obtain the secret of the 3rd step from Qing Lin, he wanted his celestial spells. When the All-Seer, Bailu, and Wang Wei's spells landed, there was a violent rumble and countless cracks appeared on the earth, making it seem as if it was going to collapse. When the All-Seer's finger landed, the entire earth collapsed and even the entire Celestial Emperor cave began to shake. All 9 floors were affected. Then, adding the numerous illusions summoned by Bailu's flags, what shook wasn't merely the Celestial Emperor cave, but the entire demon spirit land. The collapse of the ground caused the entire 9th floor to turn into ruin. When the 3 powerful spells descended, Bailu's hoarse voice roared like crazy. And then all the black fog around the palace charged at the 3 powerhouses. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Waves of heaven-shaking rumbles echoed. Wang Lin and Ling Qianhu quickly flew forward. Before they got close, they felt the unimaginable impact from ahead. However, just as the spells and the black fog collided, causing the world to change colors, the last candle in the palace on the 8th floor struggled for a moment and then extinguished. The moment the candle extinguished, the light between the eyebrows of the middle-aged man on the throne disappeared. Then large amounts of devilish energy rushed in and occupied the entire area. At this instant, the man suddenly raised his head, and the confusion in his eyes disappeared, replaced with a terrifying devilish flame. There were now 8 stars rapidly rotating in his left eye. He revealed a gloomy smile as he slowly stood up. He had been sitting here for countless years, and during these countless years, his body wasn't able to move an inch. However, at this moment, he moved. The moment the middle-aged man stood up, monstrous devilish energy surged out and countless cracks appeared on the palace he was in. Then the palace shattered into countless pieces and scattered everywhere. Even the black fog outside quickly entered the collapsed palace and went toward the middle-aged man. A suit of black armor suddenly appeared on his body. At this moment, Wang Wei saw the palace collapse, and he saw the figure inside the collapsed palace. His eyes were filled with shock and pain. Teacher! There was a trace of madness in the All-Seer's eyes. He had waited a very long time for this day. On the other side, Bailu sucked in a breath of cold air and intense killing intent appeared in his eyes. He has just finished the possession and it hasn't stabilized yet. I can't let him consolidate his power. The moment the middle-aged man stood up, all the restrictions in the first fight floors flickered intensely as if they were cheering, and then they all collapsed. What was even more terrifying was that the demon spirit land changed greatly when he stood up. All the demonic energy was swept away from the demon spirit land, reverting it to the celestial spirit heaven realm. However, at this moment, endless devilish energy surged out and covered the entire sky above the celestial spirit heaven realm. The celestial beasts that had just recovered were swept by the devilish energy. Once the devilish energy passed, they became extremely bloodthirsty ferocious beasts. Not only the demon spirit land, but even the endless starry sky the demon spirit land was in was filled with devilish energy. It turned into a huge illusory devil shadow, and it let out an arrogant laugh. This laugh was silent, but it enveloped the entire alliance. This was an unimaginable kind of power. The war in the alliance that had lasted for half a year still continued. Countless cultivators had died, but the ruthless battle had made both sides eyes red from slaughter. Large amounts of all-heaven cultivators came from all heaven, and the alliance moved out almost all the cultivators in the northern region. The entire northern region was covered in the thick smell of blood. Even Master Flamespark had almost gone crazy from killing. However, just as the two sides were immersed in endless slaughter, that silent laugh passed by. Master Flamespark was startled, and even the Alliance elder fighting him was aghast at the situation. They weren't the only ones, all the surrounding ordinary cultivators began to tremble, but they didn't know the reason. In the distant Alliance headquarters, there were still some surviving Celestials like Wang Wei and Hu Huan. They were the backbone of the Alliance, and they were about to head out to join the battle in the northern region. However, the silent laugh passed by their ears. The expressions of these former Celestials changed greatly and terror filled their eyes. This sound is Celestial Emperor Qing Lin. Even the middle-aged man in the secret room on the planet above the vortex deep within the Alliance headquarters suddenly opened his eyes. The moment his eyes opened, the bell on the ceiling suddenly collapsed with a bang. Celestial Emperor. At the same time, the old man that noticed Wang Lin in the brilliant void realm suddenly looked up. It was as if his gaze could penetrate into the distance and look at the demon spirit land. His expression had never been so serious before. Beside him, the cold brilliant void saintess, Mu Bingmai, was also startled. He has awakened? No, it's not him. The old man's expression changed. There was a hint of melancholy, a hint of relief, but also a hint of disappointment. In the burning starfield that was a forbidden land for the Alliance that belonged to the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect of the Four Divine Sect, there was a 100 feet wide white rock that was within the deepest part of the starfield. This was where the source of the flames was. This rock had an irregular shape, and it wasn't red, but snow white. However, the temperature from this rock was unimaginable. Even the current Wang Lin would melt if he came within 1,000 feet of it, and even his vermilion bird would instantly die. Even a 5-star ancient god wouldn't be able to last if they went within this 1,000 feet of this rock. This seemingly ordinary stone was the source of this burning starfield. It was because of this that the starfield had continued to burn over the countless years. At this moment, there was an old man sitting on top of this rock. This old man looked far too old with his loose skin, and a dense death aura filled him. From a distance, he didn't look like a person, but a pile of dead flesh. However, no one dared to underestimate this old man. He was the Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor. Even back then, his fame shook the stars. Due to some special reason, he didn't enter the celestial realm, but there would have been a place for him there. At this moment, the old man opened his eyes. He looked ahead and revealed a hint of melancholy. Could it be that my Vermilion Bird Divine Sect really can't rise once more? There was a planet among the stars that most people didn't pay attention to or directly ignored. It was a rank 6 cultivation planet, and it was called Planet Suzaku. On Planet Suzaku, in the place where it was once a sea of fog, there lied the land of the ancient god. Within the blood sea of the land of the ancient god, a red-haired man slowly raised his head and revealed a hint of contempt in his eyes. This 8-star ancient devil is just a waste. In another 100 years, I, Tuo Sen, will be able to leave this place. At that time, will anyone who can hinder me appear? As Tuo Sen's voice echoed, the sea of blood churned and raged like a monstrous wave. The land of the ancient god was a separate space in the void that Tusai had opened up. His body was stored in this space. It was impossible to describe how large his body was, even a cultivation planet was like a children's toy next to it. His rough skin and huge fist gave off an earth-shattering pressure that filled the void. However, as the blood sea raged with Tuo Sen's words, Tusai's right index finger suddenly moved a bit. The collapse of the palace was like a storm that was suddenly stopped, and then all of its force scattered outwards. The middle-aged man that stood up was the former #1 person who had no rivals among the 4 celestial realms, Celestial Emperor Qing Lin. However, right now his eyes were filled with powerful devilish flames and he was enveloped by a suit of black armor. The scale-like armor covered his entire body. The monstrous devilish energy formed a cloak behind him that moved without any wind. At the end of the cloak, the impressive shadow of an ancient devil appeared. The dense armor completely covered his appearance, with only the devilish flame in his eyes giving off a red glow. The moment the palace collapsed, he stepped out. At this moment, outside the collapsed palace, Wang Wei's magnificent sea spell covered the sky. The collapse of the palace was too fast, so Wang Wei had no time to stop his spell. The surging waves smashed down like crazy on the collapsed palace. At this instant, it was as if everything in this world was replaced by the sea, and water vapor filled the world. A heaven-shaking amount of celestial spiritual energy flooded the area at this moment. It felt almost corporeal and could shake one's mind. Just this spell was enough to make Wang Wei one of the most powerful cultivators today. The entire world seemed to be submerged by this raging sea. Wang Lin sucked in a breath of cold air. From what he could see, Wang Wei's strength was comparable to Qing Shui's if his Ji realm wasn't included. However, just as the raging sea arrived, the middle-aged man clad in armor took a step and arrived in the air. Just a small trick? With a trace of bloodthirst and madness, the man raised his right hand and randomly waved. Large amounts of black gas suddenly came from his hand and immediately flooded the sky, covering the sea. The sea Wang Wei had created exploded into countless raindrops that scattered everywhere. It was as if Wang Wei's spell was mere child's play before this man. Teacher, disciple was late. Wang Wei's face was pale as he retreated hundreds of feet and arrived next to Zhu Yi. He looked at the middle-aged man with pain in his eyes, but he quickly suppressed it and revealed a determined gaze. Zhu Yi hadn't recovered from injuring Master Void and was in danger here. Wang Wei waved his hand, and Zhu Yi naturally knew Wang Wei's intent. Zhu Yi looked at Wang Lin before turning into a light and was put into Wang Wei's bag. In the sky, after Wang Wei's sea was shattered, the All-Seer's finger that seemed like it could support the heavens descended. It was filled with powerful origin energy, and it slowly descended from the sky. Although it looked slow, it was extremely fast. The rumbling sounds echoed as if a hole was being opened in the sky by the finger. Even the black fog was pierced through as it came crashing down on the man below. A strange whistling sound echoed, but before it could get close, the middle-aged man's right hand reached out. With a bang, the finger began to collapse in the middle. It was as if a power far stronger than this finger had broken it in half, causing the entire finger to break inch by inch. The rumbling was heaven-shaking. The finger that made Wang Lin's scalp tingle collapsed and disappeared in the blink of an eye. All of this happened in an instant. The moment the middle-aged man stepped out, both Wang Wei and the All-Seer's spells collapsed. However, the man in armor didn't stop and took another step. He moved at an indescribable speed and immediately arrived before ancient demon Bei Lu. The 8 stars in his left eye flashed as he raised his right hand and casually waved it at all the illusions summoned by the small flags. The endless black fog covering the sky suddenly shrank and surrounded him and Bei Lu. All of this happened so fast that by the time people could react, they only saw black fog. Waves of rumbles echoed inside the black fog. The black fog churned, and Bei Lu's angry roars could be heard. Ta Jiao, even though you've possessed Qing Lin's body, if you don't have enough time, you can't possibly devour Qing Lin's soul or display all of Qing Lin's strength from back then. So what? It is enough to kill all of you. A hoarse and gloomy voice came out along with spell fluctuations. When it landed in everyone's ears, it was as if bones were being rubbed together. Everyone couldn't help but feel a chill in their hearts. The All-Seer's eyes revealed a strange light, then he unexpectedly charged into the black fog. The rumbling from the black fog became even louder. Wang Wei clenched his teeth and rushed into the black fog as well. These 3 powerhouses had entered the black fog, and the heaven-shaking collisions of their spells echoed. There were also crazy fluctuations of origin energy and celestial spiritual energy that spread. Master Void looked at the black fog with a serious expression, and the man in black beside him did the same. The old man on the gourd also hesitated and stopped at the edge of the black fog. As for Ling Qianhu, he looked at the black fog with a gloomy expression. Wang Lin immediately retreated without hesitation. Although he didn't know everything that was going on, the man in the armor that had come out of the palace was the same person that interfered with his nether guide when he was inside Bottle World and gave him the yellow crystal. When Wang Wei shouted, "Teacher," it confirmed Wang Lin's speculation. That person was the strongest person in the Celestial Realm, Celestial Emperor Qing Lin. Connecting all the information from before, the karma of everything is about to reveal itself. In the past, Celestial Emperor Qing Lin was seriously injured during the collapse of the Celestial Realm and was forced to go into closed-door cultivation. However, Ancient Devil Ta Jiao and Ancient Demon Bei Lu took this opportunity to ambush Qing Lin. They wanted to steal Qing Lin's body to take his cultivation and memories. However, Qing Lin was very powerful, and even after being seriously injured, he was still incredibly powerful. Even with the Ancient Devil and Ancient Demon working together, they couldn't completely defeat Qing Lin. Finally, Qing Lin came to the Celestial Spirit Heaven Realm, where their battle reached a peak. In that battle, Ancient Demon Bei Lu was split into 9 parts by force. He had no choice but to become 9 ancient demon spirits and hide himself for countless years in the Celestial Spirit Heaven Realm until he could reform. As for Ancient Devil Ta Jiao, he was able to enter Qing Lin's body, and he tried to take over. However, Qing Lin was able to arrive on the 9th floor of this cave. The moment he sat down, he used the 99 candles to resist the Ancient Devil. However, Ancient Devil Ta Jiao was also a powerful being. He unexpectedly filled the entire cave with devilish energy and even caused some of Qing Lin's guards to walk down the devil's path. They eventually ended up under his command. As for the scattered devil that was out in the demon spirit land and had the same body as Ling Qianhu, I fear there is something else behind that. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. With his intelligence, he immediately had a rough idea of the situation inside the cave. Just as hundreds of thoughts flashed through Wang Lin's head while he was rapidly retreating, a deafening sound came from the black fog. Along with this sound, the black fog rapidly spread outwards. Wang Wei's body charged out from the expanding black fog. As he floated in the air, he coughed out a mouthful of blood and looked dispirited. However, the sadness on his face and the pain in his heart suppressed any injuries. Just as Wang Wei was forced out, the black fog spreading out gathered and turned into a ray of black light that shot at Wang Wei. It was so fast that it immediately pierced through Wang Wei's chest. Large amounts of blood sprayed out from Wang Wei's chest and then he fell from the sky. This change was so sudden that it caused everyone's expressions to change greatly. The man in black gasped before withdrawing all his greed and immediately retreating. Master Void was the same, but his eyes lit up, and as he retreated, he charged at the seriously injured Wang Wei. I'll take this opportunity to end this person and resolve a bit of the hatred in my heart. Although Master Void was seriously injured, he was still at the Nirvana Shatterer stage. At this moment, he moved like lightning and appeared next to Wang Wei. He then raised his hand and mercilessly smashed down on Wang Wei's head. He grinned and shouted, "Since you dared to help that little bastard, die." While Wang Lin retreated, he also saw Wang Wei get thrown away after being seriously injured. He immediately stopped and charged toward Wang Wei. However, he wasn't as fast as Master Void, who had closed in on Wang Wei and had already lifted his hand. An earthy yellow glow appeared in Master Void's right hand. His hand contained the peak power of an early-stage Nirvana Shatterer cultivator. Just at this moment, Wang Lin didn't have time to think. The ancient god furnace appeared around him. He pointed at Wang Wei and shouted, "Change positions." A light covered Wang Wei, and the moment Master Void's hand smashed down, he disappeared and was replaced by Wang Lin. Wang Lin's right eye flashed blue the moment Master Void's palm descended, and the azure light shield appeared between them. Master Void's hand smashed into the shield. The shield sank and pressed down on Wang Lin's chest, causing him to cough out blood. His body was pushed back and his eyes became bloodshot, then he arrived next to the unconscious Wang Wei. He grabbed Wang Wei and retreated. As he did so, he reached into Wang Wei's clothes to grab a pill. He then crushed the wax around the pill and threw it into Wang Wei's mouth. Master Void stared at Wang Lin. After being forced to suppress his anger for so long, he couldn't hold it in anymore. At this moment, he forgot that he shouldn't be losing his mind so easily with his cultivation level drop and charged at Wang Lin. "Little bastard, I'm going to skin you alive today." Wang Lin quickly retreated and his eyes turned cold. Just as Master Void chased after Wang Lin, the dark mist filled with spells suddenly expanded once more, and this time the All-Seer was thrown out. Although he looked pale, he wasn't in a bad state. The moment he rushed out, the black fog turned into the black light that injured Wang Wei, and it charged at the All-Seer. The All-Seer's eyes lit up. He charged out and his right hand touched between his eyebrows. A ray of 7-colored light shot out from between his eyebrows and collided with the black light. There was a bang when the 7-colored light and the black light collapsed. The All-Seer borrowed this force and retreated without hesitation. This sudden change shook Master Void's mind. However, it didn't make him give up on killing Wang Lin. He actually moved even faster. When the old man on the good saw that even the All-Seer was defeated, his face filled with horror. He retreated without hesitation, but he was too late. The churning of the black fog reached a peak, and the earth-shattering rumbles continued. Then a muffled groan could be heard as Bei Lu was mercilessly thrown outside the black fog, and blood sprayed everywhere. The demonic energy around Bei Lu that was scattered quickly gathered. His eyes were filled with dense resentment. Behind him, the black fog quickly contracted, and in an instant, the fog shrank back into the armored ancient devil. The ancient devil's right hand held a 30-feet-long black blade and moved forward. He wasn't fast, but he wasn't slow either. By his second step, he was already before the old man on the gourd. The old man on the gourd revealed fear in his eyes and was about to retreat. However, just as he was about to retreat, the ancient devil stepped past him and the black blade casually swept by the old man. An unimaginable sharp energy caused the old man's expression to change greatly. Without time to think, the gourd under his feet blocked before him and his right palm hit the gourd. However, just as a spell came from the gourd, the blade flashed by and the gourd made a crackling sound as it split in half. When the old man looked down, he was startled to find that his body was already cut in half. Even his origin soul didn't have time to escape, it was destroyed by that blade while it was still in his body. All of this happened in an instant. Ancient Devil Tar Geo didn't pause after he passed by the old man on the gourd. The old man's body suddenly collapsed. This scene caused everyone to suck in a breath of cold air. The man in black was filled with even more fear and escaped even faster. Drops of blood dripped from the blade. The ancient devil revealed a hideous expression and then chased after Bei Lu. "Bei Lu, back then, I didn't kill you because our ancestors were once the same clan, but since you came looking for death, this devil can only fulfill your wish." "Bullshit. Back then we had an agreement that I'd take the body and you'd take the memories. If you hadn't backed out on our deal, that body would have been mine." Bei Lu roared as he retreated. The armored ancient devil revealed a smile of mockery as he held the blade and said, "It was just that I was a bit faster. If I acted later, then our positions would have switched." As he spoke, he held the blade and slashed down at Bei Lu. "Reveal your demon spirit form for this devil." A shockingly large blade appeared in the world. It was like a blade that could split the sky in half. When the ancient devil chopped down, a thunderous rumble could be heard. A ray of blade energy hundreds of thousands of feet long suddenly appeared and mercilessly swept toward Bei Lu, causing his expression to change greatly. The blade was so fast that he didn't have time to dodge before it landed on him. The blade's energy penetrated Bei Lu's body and landed on the ground. A loud rumble came from the collapsing ground as a gully of unknown depth appeared. Bei Lu's body was split in half and collapsed into a pile of flesh and blood. However, as his body collapsed, a green demonic light flew out into the air and immediately turned into an ancient demon that was 1,000 feet tall. This was ancient demon Bei Lu's real body. As soon as he appeared, he retreated at a shocking speed. The ancient devil let out a cold snort and chased after with his blade. As for the others, he doesn't consider them threats at all. Aside from the ancient demon, the only other person he had to pay attention to was the disgusting ancient god aura that he had noticed when he appeared. While he chased Bei Lu, the ancient devil coldly looked at Wang Lin in the distance. Wang Lin was moving as fast as he could to dodge the mad dog-like Master Void, but his speed was still far too slow compared to Master Void's. At this moment of crisis, Wang Lin took out the tattoo clan's with a tattoo and placed it on his body, making his speed immediately reach a peak. Go to where the palace was. My wife is there. She was awake before Master was possessed, so she must have gotten a message. Wang Wei's voice came from behind Wang Lin. His injuries had completely healed. After speaking, he left Wang Lin and charged at Master Void. Wang Lin immediately changed directions without pausing. He arrived before the collapsed palace in a flash, and with a sweep of his divine sense, he found the unconscious Hu Huan. When he got near Hu Huan, Wang Lin gathered some fire origin energy in his hand and pointed to between her eyebrows without hesitation. The fire origin energy swept through her body and awakened her. Senior, please quickly open the passage to leave this place. Wang Lin didn't have time to explain and quickly sent a message to Hu Huan when she awakened. After Hu Huan awakened, there was a trace of confusion in her eyes, but she quickly recovered. She got up and both of her hands formed a seal, then she pointed at the sky. A rumble echoed across the sky and then 6 pillars of light came crashing down within 100 feet of Hu Huan. In the distance, Wang Wei's right hand formed a seal, creating a curtain of water that trapped Master Void. Killing intent appeared in his eyes, but this was obviously not the time to fight. He let out a cold snort and then the water-trapping Master Void suddenly turned into countless swords and rapidly shrank. Without waiting for the result, Wang Wei immediately appeared next to Hu Huan and Wang Lin. The pillar of light flashed and the three of them immediately disappeared. At the same time, the man in black also arrived in a panic. He charged into the pillars of light and disappeared. Master Void's body was surrounded by water swords. As they stabbed at him, he let out a roar and a storm of yellow soil appeared. There were sounds of collisions as he managed to block the attacks, but he coughed out blood. This made him shiver coldly, and it awakened him from his crazed state. Everything that happened before would have looked incredible to other people. How could he have lost control of his killing intent and attacked at this moment of crisis? If he had been a bit careless, he would have died here. Master Void's eyes were filled with fear and bitterness. His body flickered and he charged directly at the pillars of light. As for the All-Seer, he unexpectedly disappeared, and no one knew where he had gone. Earlier, I noticed that I was losing control of myself, but now I'm certain. I didn't think the first Heaven's Blight would arrive so quickly. Master Void rushed into the pillar of light and disappeared. Ancient demon Bei Lu, who was being chased by the ancient devil, let out angry roars. When he saw that the transfer array to exit this place had opened, he immediately rushed toward it without hesitation. However, just as he got close, the ancient devil chasing him revealed a bloodthirsty gaze. He let go of the blade in his hand and suddenly opened his arms. Devil devours all spirits. As he shouted, the armor around the ancient devil released boundless black fog, and black fog suddenly filled the world once more. The black fog turned into a giant mount that attempted to ruthlessly devour the escaping Bei Lu. Bei Lu let out a miserable groan before his body collapsed with a bang. Half of his body was devoured, and the remaining half turned into the size of an ordinary person. He then disappeared into the transfer array. The black fog quickly absorbed half of Bei Lu's spirit body. Then the fog wrapped around Ta Jiao and turned into a dragon. It rushed at the transfer array and smashed toward the sky. The sky was smashed open as he charged upwards. None of you can escape. As for Wang Lin and the celestial cloud couple, the three of them immediately appeared in the palace on the 8th floor. Hu Huan quickly said, "When Master talked to me earlier, he only said one sentence. Rain Celestial Realm Temple, Origin Soul Crystal, Qing Shuang's blood." Wang Wei's eyes narrowed. Before he could speak, the man in black and Master Void came from the transfer array. At the same time, ancient demon Bei Lu's miserable spirit body also appeared. Also, at this moment, the ground everyone was standing on collapsed. While the ground collapsed, strands of devilish energy came out from the cracks. When the ground completely collapsed, the dragon formed by devilish energy rushed out. It opened its mouth that could devour the world and attempted to devour everyone. At this instant, Wang Lin was replaying the words Hu Huan just said in his mind. Qing Shuang's blood. Qing Shuang's blood. The moment the devil dragon arrived, Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and the celestial pagoda appeared. With no time to care about how precious the celestial tower was, Wang hit it with his palm, causing it to collapse, and Qing Shuang's body appeared before him. I'm sorry. He secretly apologized to Zhu Yi. Wang Lin seized all the time he had as he stabbed Qing Shuang's index finger and squeezed out a drop of blood. Then he immediately threw that drop of blood at the devil dragon before them. This video will end here.